Why do people get married? Why do people spend the money and the time and the stress and the tears that they do obtaining that little piece of paper that says, in the eyes of the government that oversees their lives, you two are together forever. You two are now to share everything that you own. Instead of being two separate people, you're now one. Why does everyone put the effort and, again, the time, the money, the tears, and everything into creating a large celebration around this piece of paper to prove to everyone that says they love them that their love is true, their love is real, that nothing can get in the way of it, nothing can ever tear them apart? Why do we do all of this? There's practical reasons and there's emotional reasons. The emotional reasons are probably very obvious. You love the person. You already in your heart celebrate every time that you wake up in the morning realizing that you're still with that person and that hopefully you'll be with them for a very, very long time, if not forever. You want to show everyone, hey, this party, this celebration, this is my proof to all of you on that person's side, all the people that have always loved them, their family, their friends, their loved ones. I'm here to promise all of you that I'm going to do everything in my power to give this person a great life, to make sure that they're taken care of, to make sure that their needs are met and they're happy and fulfilled and safe throughout their life. And you get the piece of paper because there's a lot that gets packed into that little government document. Marriage licenses are very, very powerful. And I think a lot of people take that power for granted because it's always been easy for cishet couples to obtain marriage licenses. You just go in, you show them some documents proving that you're you, and you sign the thing, and you're married in the eyes of the government now. And the only thing that can generally tear that apart is if you decide you no longer want it anymore. No one else can tell you you're not allowed to be married anymore. No one else can tell you that you can't get married in the first place. I mean, yeah, you can have some manipulative or abusive people in your life, but at the end of the day, you're the only one who can sign that paper and you're the only one who can nullify it by getting a divorce. It's ultimately always going to be up to you in the end. That's not the same for people like me. The LGBTQI plus community has had to fight tooth and nail for a very long time. And in the United States, queer marriages have not been recognized for very long yet. I can clearly remember being a sentient adult when Obama did that. That's how recent it was. And it's scary because the backlash that decision got was already very tense and very scary. The fact that people were so angry about people they don't even know getting married was enough for people to threaten the lives of these strangers and stuff for doing what they already did and what they had no pushback from. It was bizarre. And from that day on, there's powers in our government that have done everything they can to dangle that marriage equality in front of us and say, we gave you this and we can take it away from you whenever we want. State governments have tried to get rid of marriage equality and just queer rights in general. Trans rights, always on the chopping block. And then you've got presidents who haven't been super keen on it. Luckily, Trump didn't have enough time while he was in office to do anything about it. He was busy dicking around with other shit, but he's made it incredibly known, and so have DeSantis, that if either of them becomes president, we are no longer going to be considered human beings anymore. And now something else is happening. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a quick TikTok because this woman is an expert in her field. And I think this is something that people in and outside of my country need to be made aware of.
Being gay is already technically illegal in 14 states, and some of them might surprise you. And they absolutely are going to try to make being gay illegal right after they come for gay marriage and birth control. I'm going to show you how and tell you what 14 states still have laws on the books which will make being gay immediately illegal when the Supreme Court decides in their favor. Being queer in the US is only legal because of Supreme Court case Lawrence v. Texas in 2003. Up until then, being queer was illegal in multiple states and was prosecuted under the state's sodomy laws. Sodomy was broadly defined as any consensual adult non-procreative activity. Technically, oral was included in this, but big surprise, it was never prosecuted in straight people. The Supreme Court based its ruling on the notion of personal autonomy. Sound familiar to a recent case, y'all? In the Dobbs decision that overturned abortion rights, the court's liberal wing wrote in a dissenting opinion, "No one should be confident that this majority is done with its work." To the contrary, the overturned Roe case is linked to other settled freedoms. Griswold is the case for birth control. Obergefell is the case for gay marriage. And this is our 2003 case that said you can't make being gay illegal. And in his opinion for Dobbs, Justice Thomas specifically said he would reconsider and overrule Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. And now they're looking for a case to cherry pick and take to the packed Supreme Court. You know, just like you saw in several cases last month. I literally research and teach this stuff for a living, and people still say I'm fear-mongering. But if you listen to the experts, we've been saying since before the leaked draft that Dobbs was likely to overturn Roe, and it was going to be linked to these other freedoms. This is all connected, and the longer people ignore that, the worse this is going to get.
As soon as I saw that video, I immediately decided to stitch it, and now that you've seen what is happening in the country that I currently reside in, I'm going to show you what my immediate reaction to that video was.
Being gay is already technically illegal in 14 states.
I'm tired. When you watch her entire video that I'm stitching this from, she was basically explaining the fact that Supreme Court, surprise, surprise, is after gay marriage, swiftly followed by just making being in a queer relationship illegal, fully, on a federal level. I am trying to wedding plan right now. There's some stressful sides of wedding planning, yes, but overall, you're supposed to be excited. You're supposed to be having fun. You're supposed to be like, oh, I can't wait to go and look at flowers. I can't wait to go look at invitations and color schemes and stuff. Instead, I've been fucking terrified the whole time. I've been terrified because I know this is coming. And people kept trying to tell me online and to my face months ago when I was making videos saying, I want to hurry and get married so I have some rights with my partner, but at the same time, I know it's kind of useless with the government powers that be right now because they'll find a way to nullify. And they were like, no, you can't nullify it. If they make it so that being in a queer relationship is illegal, that will nullify it. What point will there be in getting married in this country if they take away our right to service, which in many cases also includes things like medical help? And if that doctor decides they're not comfortable with queer people, they can just tell you to leave. If you can't get anything for your wedding, have the ceremony officiated by people. If you can't be in the same bedroom as your partner, if you can't express any kind of love for your partner, they're just basically picking out every single reason people get married and getting rid of it, and I am tired. And while I'm very thankful that this lady explained all of this to people who don't fully know what's going on, the end of her video did kind of piss me off a little bit because she followed everything up by basically saying, like, if we don't start taking this seriously, it's going to get worse. What are we supposed to do? We are just citizens. We can't overturn anything that the Supreme Court does. They are the law of the land. They can overrule the President of the United States. It's not that we're not paying attention. We've all been screaming this at the top of our lungs for a long time. But there's nothing we can do. And it's true. Obviously, I'm excited about spending the rest of my life with the person that I love more than anything on this planet. Obviously, I want to be able to celebrate that day with her and with everyone that I love and that she loves. I think that we should be allowed to do that without being scared, but we're apparently not. At every turn, while planning this wedding, we've had to be terrified. Terrified because there's anti-queer protests going on, or terrified because, well, what if we ask for someone to make us the wedding cake, or to help with our decorations or something, and it turns out they're secretly homophobic or transphobic or whatever phobic, and they out us to some other business, and there's a chain reaction of businesses who keep outing us and keep causing a problem for us. I get scared that because I can't handle a lot of stressors, or I go into the hospital, that even after obtaining that marriage license, they'll still kick her out of the hospital because they won't recognize our union as being a real marriage. The thing is, they've gotten smart. They've, to a certain degree, realized we can't necessarily just get rid of gay marriage because they'll find a loophole. So what they're now doing is picking apart everything that makes a marriage worth getting. All of the perks you get from it. They're making it so that we can't have the service itself. They're making it so that we can't even plan the service by getting like a wedding website or anything, which means a lot of the registries are also going to cut us off, and we won't be able to get the cake or the decorations or anything. We're going to have to like hand make everything. But then what are you going to do about the venue? You're going to have to do it like underground or something and hope that nobody catches wind that that's what's happening there that day. And then you've got just making being queer illegal. Do you know how scary and dangerous that is? That is absolutely gonna end lives, and it's not just gonna affect queer people. For any of you who are out here like, well, it doesn't affect me, so I don't have to worry about it. It will affect you, because guess what? You piss off your neighbor, you use his leaf blower a few too many times and don't clean it out after you give it back to him. He gets pissed at you, so what does he do? He calls the local HOA and he says, he's gay, get him. And then a group of people come to your door just because you did something that arbitrary, that meaningless, just an annoying inconvenience to that neighbor. He tells everyone you're gay, and whether you are or not, it's his word against yours. Tensions are high, everyone believes this neighbor over you, and suddenly you have no rights. You're not considered a human being in this country anymore, and you lose everything. Or, worse yet, you'll lose your life that day, because a lot of them have made it very clear what they want to happen to us. Like I said in my reaction to that video, I am exhausted. I'm so tired. A lot of us are so tired, and we are fighting. We are fighting so hard every single day, but no one is fighting alongside of us. My fiance just caught wind of this news, and she texted me and said, you know what's bothering me? Just us being alive is about to become potentially illegal in this country, and nobody cares. Our families can go, oh my God, that's so horrible. Oh no, that's so bad. But what are they actually doing to help? What are the allies actually doing to help? I don't fucking see them at the protests. I don't see them using their Facebook with their homophobic family and friends to say, hey, what you're doing is wrong and corrupt and you need to stop because you're hurting people. I don't see them reposting the things that we post on our social media. They can tell us on the phone or to our face, oh, we think it's so awful. Oh, you are a human being and we love you and we'll always accept you. Well, you know what? Saying that you accept and love someone comes with the contingency that you have to prove that shit. You don't get to just say the words like they, are a greeting, a general greeting that doesn't mean anything. You need to back that shit up with action, and they aren't. They're not helping. And it's making me crazy. You don't have to be openly homophobic and transphobic to be part of the problem. Actively doing nothing publicly is part of the problem. Silence is violence. People have been saying this for years, and I don't know why it still hasn't stuck in people's minds yet, because it's the truth. You can't just sit here acting all shocked about something that we all knew was coming for years now, and just saying, oh, that's terrible, when it's your own children going through it. Why aren't you fucking helping? Do something already!